Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Yonit Arthur. I'm an audiologist and strength coach. You are on my channel, The Steady Coach. It is my great privilege today to bring you this interview with Mario. Mario started suffering from chronic dizziness symptoms last year, so toward the end of 2021. And they quickly became worse and worse until at one point he was completely debilitated with all sorts of symptoms that we're going to go into later on in this interview. Through watching my YouTube channel and being part of my membership community, Mario learned how neural circuit dizziness works, and he was able to heal himself. Nowadays, Mario is 100% recovered, completely free of the symptoms he was experiencing. And at the end of this interview, I even asked him if he would go ride a roller coaster, and he said absolutely yes. So without further ado, please enjoy this interview. Mario gives you so much practical advice about how to get better, and he really outlines in detail how he did it. So again, please enjoy. Okay. Hi, Mario. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Yonit.
Hi. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. And I'm so excited to hear your story because I know some of your story, but not all of it. So it's going to be fun to get to hear the whole thing today. And
Yeah,
I'm
also.
I'm saying that because the whole thing, it actually has an ending, right? Because you're better.
Yeah. I can say now that I'm totally recovered, so
Amazing.
I'm happy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start at the beginning. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Mario. I live in Italy in a small town called Lucca in Tuscany,
Mhm.
and I'm 35 years old, and I'm a user interface designer.
Mhm.
So this means that I spend a lot of time in front of the monitor,
Mhm.
and yeah, which I can say that this is part of it's one cause of all this bad situation that happened to me,
Mhm.
because in December everything started in 2021.
Mhm.
It was December, and let me say that these 2 years for me have been really tough, even for the pandemic, of course, but also for my job, which was a real source of stress in my life.
Yeah.
And my body started to telling me that he didn't want to stay in front of the computer and didn't want to have a stressful situation anymore in December. So at some point, I started having an hearing loss on my right ear,
Mhm.
and I had also some fluid coming from my ear. So I decided to go to an ENT, and he diagnosed me an otitis media.
Okay.
And he said that maybe he said you should go through a TC scan of your face because maybe there is a sinus infection going on,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's what he did. And in fact, he diagnosed me a chronic sinus infection. And after going through medications, so antibiotics and cortisone for 15 days, everything went well. But from there, I started experiencing this vertigo sensation.
Mm. Mhm.
I call them vertigo, but I've never had any room spinning sensation, anything like that. It was more like turning my head to one side and having like a brief moment of like a brain reset.
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, that time was just once, so I didn't, I wasn't worried about it. But very soon they become to be more and more frequent.
Mm.
So at some point, I was experiencing these vertigo sensations every day. And this was January, and I decided to go to the eye doctor because I was sure that
So much for
there,
visual.
yeah, there
Yeah.
was something wrong with my eyes. I
Mhm.
was this strange sensation while I was looking at my screen,
Mhm.
and especially while I was scrolling my mobile phone.
Okay.
So I went to the eye doctor, and the visit went well. he said that my eyes were perfect. But at this point, I started to become more anxious, because I didn't have any answers about all these symptoms that were growing, and but I was feeling bad, and at some point I decided to go to another eye doctor, because there was a lot of this visual sensation, But even the second visit went well. Everything was fine. In March, I started having very neurological symptoms, like tension headaches, light sensitivity, especially in the night. So for me, at that time, artificial lights at night were, bothering me. And so at this point, I decided to go to visit a neurologist, and the visit went well. But he told me that I should go through an MRI scan just to be sure, and to be that nothing was wrong with my brain, And at that point, as you can imagine, my health anxiety was really to the roof. And of course, I was sure that I was suffering from a brain tumor or an MS, because all these symptoms were constant, 24/7. And
wow. So they went from once in a while to starting to bother you, but then they just got worse and worse and worse until they were constant.
Yeah, they became in December, and they were going worse and worse and worse. And in March, I was dizzy all the time, 24/7, and they were constant. And especially tension headaches, very bad, temple headaches, and this sensation of someone pushing me down on my head. Of course, my neck and my shoulders were really tight. And in March, I also started having a TMJ disorder, because I started having clenching my teeth at night, and even during the day. So that's why I went to the dentist, and they gave me a night guard, which helped. And it was a total mess. But in the beginning, I didn't want to do the MRI because I was really scared. But after 1 month living with all these symptoms, I decided to go through the MRI. And fortunately, everything was perfect. And
did that feel like a relief at the time? Did that feel like a relief, or was it like, oh no, now what?
It was a relief, because of course I was really sure that I had a brain tumor or something like that, but I was relieved. But when you are into health anxiety, you look for something else, while you have an answer from one thing, then you start looking somewhere else. So it was just a moment. Relief, momentary relief.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so my anxiety was really high, and I also started having palpitations. I went to the cardiologist to have a visit, which was okay. Blood test, any kind of blood test, as you can imagine, everything was perfect. And but in April, I was really frustrated, because it was a real torture living with all these symptoms, and nobody was telling me what was going on with me. And was so the worst moment was from I would say from March till June. And in June is the moment when I discovered your YouTube channel, and that was my turning point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get into that, but I'm curious, when you say, so what was it like in that time from the March to June? point? Like, what was daily life like? You had these symptoms. Were you able to function? I mean, how did you function?
No, it was really terrible. I mean, as you can imagine, I was used to spend like between 8 to 12 hours in front of the computer, and with all these symptoms, especially visual symptoms and headaches, I couldn't work, and was really frustrating. Of course, my social life was. I mean, going down and down because I didn't want to hang out anymore. And yeah, I was experiencing, I mean, a bunch of awful symptoms, you know, and depersonalization, which was like constant.
Oh
Every
my
day I was
gosh.
experiencing depersonalization, and maybe that was the scariest symptom I've ever experienced. And
Yeah. There's a
yeah,
consensus on that, that's one of the worst. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You start wondering if you are about your mental sanity, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really, really tough, really tough. Has been a real torture. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's I know, it's still I wish no one had to ever go through it, but that's why I have the YouTube channel, because it really
Yeah.
does. So I mean, so you found it, and what what struck you about it? Like, what did you see that made you say, "Oh," and then when did things start to actually change?
Yeah, I think things started changing in June,
Mhm.
and actually, just having someone like you explaining to me what was going on, that was a super helpful.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that there are many people out there that they are experiencing all these things, that they just need someone who tells them what's going on with their body.
Mhm.
And that was super important for me.
Mhm.
And of course, it was not a very quick process. And
Mhm.
but from there, having your videos, watching your videos, and very uh, explaining all the things in a very clear way. Uh, yeah, I become to be more relaxed,
Mhm.
and I started being more confident with my body, and I that's when I decided to stop all the tests, because I was always saying to me, now maybe I should make another MRI, or I should go to another neurologist, you know.
Mhm.
But at that point, I say, okay, I don't need this anymore. And yeah, after 2 or 3 months. So from August was almost symptoms free.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very
Wow.
quick. It was very quick. I know that there are many people that
It's not so
take.
quick.
Yeah, it's not so quick. Yeah,
But it's like you're saying, and Dr. John Sarno, who used this approach with chronic pain, he said education is the cure. I mean, education is literally the cure for this condition. So you've experienced that firsthand.
yeah.
So I'm curious, was it hard to hear at first? Were you like, there is no way that there's not a brain tumor or something crazy going on? There's no way. Or was it like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Did you have disbelief at first, or did it make sense?
Did make sense immediately. So it was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Even because when you I used to watch the recovery videos, you know,
Mhm,
from one of the first one was the Julie's story,
mhm, mhm,
and you find that I mean that's me. She experienced everything I'm experiencing now, you know, and yeah, that was really helpful. And of
mhm,
course, in the recovery process, there are many things that can help you. For example, for me, sports, I do like cycling, and has been really, really important for me.
To move.
Yeah, to move, even because I mean this dizziness is, I mean, for me has been like anxiety and dizziness are together, you know. And when you do sports and you especially cardio sports, you know, I mean, your anxiety level goes down, and so even dizziness goes down, and all the symptoms goes down. So sport helped me a lot, and yeah. So there is not just one thing that help you to recover. It's many things that can help you in the recovery process.
Yeah, but it even seems like sports and moving, they did two things for you. So on one hand, they helped you feel better, but also they gave you evidence. Wait a second.
Yeah.
A brain tumor doesn't care if I'm working out or not. It doesn't
Yeah.
care. And if my anxiety levels go down and then my dizziness goes down, oh, maybe that means something. Maybe
Yeah.
that means something.
Yeah, that's when you have to recognize, because at some point uh, mm, you have to understand that you are telling story to yourself. I mean, there was a point when I was feeling very bad, and of course I was thinking all the same things. You will never recover. But actually, I was doing all the things of my normal life. I was cycling, I was hanging out, I was. So you have to understand when you are telling story to yourself, bad stories, and what the reality is. You know, because yeah, this is super important.
That is. So I'm curious, how do you do you have any ideas for people watching who have trouble seeing that? How do you do that? Like, how do you realize when it's a story you're telling yourself versus reality? Do you have any tips for that?
Yeah, for me, for example, I mean, at some point you have to. So all these symptoms, there, there were environments where I had symptoms, and environments where with symptoms free, you know. And at this point, you have to understand that it can't be anything bad with your body, you know, because for me, I wasn't dizzy while I was cycling, or while I was in an happy contest, you know, or while I wasn't thinking about dizziness. So at some point, you have to understand that, okay, so this is all anxiety, and I mean, it has a very important role. And yes, you have uh, to recognize that you are getting better, actually. So it's maybe in the beginning I was expecting to recover in just one day, you know, and that's what people want, because of course this is a nightmare. But recovery is not like from one day to another, and takes time, and you need to don't push yourself. This is very important. And even when you have setbacks, you don't have to forget that you are getting better. You get better, you know. And
So you had ups and downs.
yeah. I had ups and downs, yes. So
And then
I started from here, and yeah, it's like this, you
it was
know.
like
But
this. Yeah.
yes, but you go down. I mean, it's set with setbacks, but you still go down. But of course, you have to believe believe that recovery is possible, and because you get better, you can recover 100% of this.
Yes. And as long as again, it's normal. I think you've probably experienced this too. When you have the spikes, the little
Yeah,
spikes, the doubts can start to come back. Wait, maybe I should go to the doctor.
yeah,
Maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Did that happen to you too?
yeah. and it's difficult, I know, to don't listen to all these bad voices,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the key of the recovery, because this is
Mm-hmm.
something that you have to do. You have uh, to believe it,
Mm-hmm.
that recovery is possible, for
And so
sure.
and so for you, what are some of the things that helped reinforce the belief on those bad days? So you had a bad day, symptoms came up, you had the doubts. So what did you do on those bad days to help?
Yeah, of course, I was watching your
The
channel, and
video. I'll
and
just watch this one again. She's going to say it again.
yeah, that's the truth. I mean, it's true, because yeah, you have to convince yourself, and so
Mhm.
I watched a lot of your videos more than one time,
Mhm.
believe me.
That's
And
why my views have been going up so much. People are just
yes,
watching them over and over.
yeah, and yeah, but it helped me,
Mhm.
and also, even if symptoms are very scary, you
Mhm.
have to push yourself
Mhm.
to because the natural way to react to symptoms is I stay in bed all day, and I don't want to hang out anymore, or I don't want
Mhm.
to go out.
Mhm.
But you have to, even if you're dizzy, and even if it's a bad day, if you want to go hiking, or if even if you don't want to, just push yourself. Sometimes
Mhm.
I did push myself. There
Mhm.
were many times when, for example, I went hiking and I was feeling really bad, but
Mhm.
I did it. And this is important as well, because you show to your brain that everything is safe, and
Mhm.
actually you're fine. You can climb a mountain, and you can do it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. So there's so much of that is just kind of disproving some of the stuff that these cycles in the brain are trying to have you believe, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm curious, and I actually don't know the answer to this. So either answer is fine, but I'm curious to know if you had to do any more emotional work or looking back on the stress and understanding any of that stuff, or was it really just that's in the past, I just need to focus on now?
No, I changed my life. For example, I quit my job,
Oh my gosh.
because yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm happy about that,
Mhm.
because that was my main source of stress, for sure. and
Mhm.
in fact, that was another thing that helped me in the recovery.
Mhm.
uh, and yeah, I looked back in the past, and I tried to change my life in I'm trying to avoid stressful things, even notification on the phone. For example, before this, I was a super high alert guy. I had notifications on my smartwatch, and
Mhm.
I turned them off.
Mhm.
And so I changed my life in a way that to have less source of stress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I wanna make a note here that one thing I think people misunderstand is that I don't think that you think this way or I think this way, but some people worry that, okay, so you're saying it's stress related. I have to be stress free. No more stress. I can't handle
No.
stress. It's the opposite, right? It's I can handle stress, but I want to live a better life without some of that stuff, right?
Yeah, correct. And I know that I'm going to say something very um, I mean, not bad, but for people that are experiencing symptoms, but in some way, this helped me recognizing. So now I know what I don't want to do, you know, and that's why I'm not scared about dizziness anymore, because even if they come back, if it comes back, uh, I know that it's there because there is something wrong that I don't want to do, or it's making me stressed or anxious. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. People ask someone asked me that yesterday, like, do people look back really and say, not maybe I'm glad it happened, because it is a lot
No,
of
of
suffering, it's
course.
torture, but there's a people really grow from it, right? I mean, what you just told me was that
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
grown a lot as a person from it.
I'm sure about that. Yeah, for
So
sure.
so it's not that you sit around and you're like, "Oh, yay, oh gosh, I'm so grateful it's not here, but if it ever comes back, I don't know what I'm gonna do." You don't sit around being afraid of it. You're thinking forward.
Yeah, 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 sure, for
Mhm,
sure. I'm not scared anymore because I mean, I know that I convinced myself that I mean they came for a reason, and
mhm.
uh, they don't scare me anymore. All
Oh,
these symptoms, yeah.
amazing.
But
Okay.
hopefully they won't come back
Yeah,
like
that'd be
April.
preferable. That'd be preferable. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm curious because some people, again, will watch my channel and they'll say, "So does having no symptoms means you never feel any dizziness ever?"
Hmm. I mean, it's like I don't agree with the I'm 80% recovered, 90% recovered, because
Mhm.
I mean, it's not like mm, it's not a process
Mhm.
like doing math, or
Right, like you get to this one endpoint and it's done 100%. The bar is up to the top and then boop, you're done.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
no, it's not like
Right.
that. I mean, and
Mhm.
yeah, sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, I was curious to know if so how do you know that you're recovered? Because people will say, "So being recovered means I'll never feel dizzy again." And I always say, "You're gonna feel dizzy sometimes because that's normal." So what does recovery look like for you? What does it mean to you?
Um, so now it's almost 2 months that I don't have dizziness anymore,
Mhm,
uh, and no symptoms at all.
mhm,
Maybe sometimes my eyes have visual stuff. My eyes get tired more easily,
mhm,
uh, but yeah, that's why I think that maybe I can be dizzy one day, maybe
mhm.
again, but I know how it works now, you know,
Right.
and
And it's
I'm
normal.
ready to. Yeah, it's normal. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm,
sure. And I'm sure that there are many people out there that are experiencing this, and they are super scared. One thing that I had to do is pulling me out from one of those Facebook groups, and you see that uh, I saw many people that they are facing this horrible thing for years, but they are still looking for an organic answer.
mhm.
So people after
Exactly.
2 or 3 years saying I need to go to visit this doctor or make this test. So also that's why I decided to go out from this thing, because
Mhm,
uh, you need to focus and listen to your body, and don't tell the story that you
mhm.
won't get better.
Mhm,
Yeah,
and don't listen to other people who are telling you you're not gonna get better
no,
either,
no, 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 no.
period,
Yeah,
period,
for
and
sure.
that's why I think it is important, like, in our community, you've spent some time in our community to be able
Yeah,
to talk honestly about what it's like, but also the baseline, the starting point is it stinks. However, we know you're doing the right things. We know you're doing the right things, and it does stink right now, but you are gonna get better. This isn't an organic, like a biological problem. You're not broken.
yeah,
It's gonna take some time, but you're going to get there.
yeah, yeah.
So that was an important
That's
message.
important. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah.
And you need, for example, I used to wake up every morning, and the first thought that came into my mind was, "Am I going to be dizzy today?"
Mhm.
And at some point, you need to stop thinking in this way. I
Mhm.
mean, I know it's difficult, but
Mhm.
it's a mandatory step for recovery.
Mhm.
That
Absolutely.
was, I'm talking for myself. I mean, everybody is experiencing
Mhm.
this in a very different way.
Yes.
That what I can understood joining the community and meeting people, other people suffering
Yes.
from this.
But you're right. And I have a video you might not have seen because you're busy living your life, but I have a video about habits, and that's one of them. Looking
Okay.
for looking for and trying to fix symptoms like in the morning. So I give some suggestions in that video, and I'll link to it in the description of this one so people can see it. But
Yeah.
it's one of the topics is how to change that habit, that specific habit.
Yeah.
So, okay. So do you have any limitations in your life now, or are you just living life normally?
Totally normal, fortunately. Yeah,
Would you
yeah.
go on a would you go on a roller coaster?
Yeah, sure, sure. I'm
I
hiking,
love it.
cycling. I'm doing everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm symptom free, and
Amazing.
I'm I live a normal life. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So good to hear, and a lot of people are gonna appreciate hearing this too. And I wanna be clear, I know it probably felt like 10 years. You were thankfully, you were in and out of this in just in under a year, but I see people
Yeah,
have these same recoveries even when they've had it for longer. Once that switch happens,
yeah, yeah.
it
Okay.
just starts to you just start to get better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Well,
like as you said, like a switch, but.
yeah,
Mm.
like a
I've
switch.
been lucky. I know. I mean, it was terrible. I don't want to experience that anymore. But it was quick, very quick.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes. So, do you think, and I'm speaking now, a lot of my audience, a lot of the folks who see my channel are in Europe, and
yeah.
quite a few viewers from Italy. So, do you think that there was anything that they should know about the system? Any advice you could give to someone in Europe about how to get these kinds of answers or get to this point? Like, is there anything special about that system?
Yeah. Here in Italy, I mean, it's all they can do. It's prescribing you an MRI and uh, just be sure that. Nothing bad is going wrong with your
With your
brain or
brain?
body in general. Yes,
Yeah.
but they are not very prepared about all these situations, and
Mhm.
so yeah, my recommendation is to watching your YouTube
My
channel and
videos.
yes,
Yes.
your videos,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, all the things. Uh, yeah, stop thinking about being dizzy every day. Yes, that's
Mhm.
the most important thing.
Yes. So
Don't let the dizziness will be your first thought in the morning when
mhm.
you wake up.
Wonderful
So
advice.
it's I know it's I'm saying this and people maybe watching. It's difficult. I know it's very difficult.
Mhm.
I went through that, but it's a key for recovery.
Yes. Amen. It is. As you said, it's easier said than done, but it can be done. You're proof that it can
Yeah,
be
yeah, it
done.
can be done. Yeah, 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 for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can say
This is
that.
you gave so much. I hope you were just throwing out gold nuggets of advice this entire time. So I hope people were catching all the good advice you gave. Is there anything else any other advice you'd like to give people who are going through it, or anything else you'd like to say to them?
Mm, don't think so. Yeah, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Well, so to sum it up though, it was basically try not to let it dominate your thoughts as much as you can. Believe that this is something you can get better from. To keep yourself away from negative media
yeah,
or people who are telling you you're not going to get better, and
yeah,
try to push yourself to live
yeah,
your life. Did
yeah,
I
yeah,
sum it up
sure. Yeah,
well?
yeah, sure. And
Yeah.
yeah, doing. Uh, I mean, I see many people on that do VRT exercises, and
Mhm.
I also tried that, and they helped
Mhm.
me. But for me, 1 hour of VRT equals 1 hour gardening equals
Mhm.
3 hours VRT. So
Yes.
uh, to do stuff, physical activities, help you telling your brain you're safe, and that's important. That's very
That's
important.
perfect. So movement was
Movement,
your
yeah,
big
yeah,
point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So just to clarify, because I know people are going to ask. So after June, when you started to get better, were you still doing any VRT exercises regularly or no?
No, I discovered VRT from your channel, and I
Okay.
tried for mm, maybe 1 week or something like that.
Yep. And
And
then you're like, I don't need it.
no, yeah, no. I saw that I had a lot of free time in that month, so that's I did a lot of gardening, and that's why I told you that for me,
Mhm.
1 hour gardening is better than
Mhm.
VRT. So
Yes.
physical stuff, yeah, yeah,
Good. So you got the message from my videos that it was okay to do that it was okay to just do something physical instead of doing VRT.
yeah, sure,
Good.
sure,
I want
yeah,
to make sure because VRT is, the gold standard and all that, but I want people to know that there's nothing magical about it. It go out and move for most people, and for chronic dizziness. For other types of dizziness, maybe not, but for long-term triple
yeah.
PD. Did you ever get the diagnosis, by the way? Triple PD?
Never,
No, never.
never,
Okay.
no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I can say I had triple PD. I mean, watching
No
your videos
question.
and your recovery stories and all the people
Mhm.
that suffered from that, I mean, that was what I had
Clearly, it's a
for sure.
symptom-based
Yeah,
diagnosis, so you
yeah,
met the criteria.
yeah. Especially for all this visual stuff, watching the screen and going to supermarkets were really big trigger for me.
Mhm.
But yeah, my work screen. So you sit down and you start immediately feeling like uncomfortable and
Mhm.
all strange stuff happening. Your vision gets tired very soon,
Mhm.
and yeah, yeah,
I feel like I remember you asking this question in the membership community on one of the Q&As early on when you first joined. You were asking, "What do I do if it's my screen at work?" And I said, "Is there something bothering you about work?" Do you remember
yeah,
that? Was
yeah.
that Yeah,
In fact, that's just my work screen was doing this. My
right.
iPad, my TV, or yeah, were fine. And but my work screen was I mean, I didn't want to do that work anymore. And but
Yeah,
that was
clearly.
the way that the body um, told me that,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
yeah,
Amazing. Wow, what it's such a it is such a pleasure to hear this story now in its entirety. As I said, I know you, but I'd never heard the story from start to finish. So what a pleasure. And I so, so, so appreciate you agreeing to do this and spend a little time on dizziness since I don't want you spending time on dizziness anymore. But this is going to really help others to hear this.
yeah, yeah. That's why I wanted to do it.
Yes, wonderful. Well, thank you. So, anything else you wanted to share? Any other message you want to give to people watching?
No, I just want to thank you really because you really helped me a lot.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
It's it's honestly my privilege. I just can't believe it. I mean, myself. I mean, I believe it because obviously I see it, right? But
Yeah.
I it's such a privilege to be able to do that and with just sharing information. I mean, it's really I could make a 10-minute YouTube video and help people that way. Like
Yeah, it's
what
super important.
it
Yeah.
is. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Mario. And
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. So guys, if you've got questions for Mario, if you've got comments, just drop them below. And of course, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And Mario, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for doing this.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Bye.